Hello everyone, this is Waldorf.
And this is Statler.
And this is the 2020 Army Balance Patch.
We're going to do it to the 9th age yet again.
Again.
Yes, and again.
All right.
So yeah, at the end of the year, at the end of every year, I guess, for now, they're updating all the points on the different Army books just to bring balance after the happenings of the previous year's tournament scene.
Correct, even though there was no tournament scene this year.
Yes, well, they did the online tournament thing, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
They did the online, and there were a few tournaments. I ran mine. There was an outdoor one that we went to, and there was one or two early in the year. Even Buckeye Battle still ran, even though a reduced capacity.
So we have a shaky sample due to the plague.
Correct. And from what I can see, their goal seemed to be in this one to kind of encourage larger units.
Yeah, I think that's to a certain degree, and they seem to be applying if the unit gets used a lot, it's undercosted approach, and if it doesn't get used enough, it's overcosted approach.
Yeah, that's kind of the old standby for what it seems, but
for certain things. But yeah, definitely they're definitely trying to affect. It looks like MSU versus big unit.
They've definitely hurt the MSU a little bit.
I think it depends on the book, but yeah.
Right. So along those lines, the first thing they did for big units, of course, or units with command is points are cut in half for each model.
Yeah, so champions, musicians, standard bearers are going to be 10 points each. They're halfway there.
They're halfway there,
They're
correct.
halfway there.
They've got half of the idea.
I'm still lobbying for free. Either you get it or you don't.
Right. The unit,
It still annoys me of this one unit doesn't have a musician. Of course, the player never remembers which unit it was.
Correct. Oh, and then decides they need to roll it off because they're not sure.
Exactly.
So now they've got a 50-50 chance of actually having it.
Because you happen to be one off on your March test or something like that happened, or they just missed their charge by one or whatever. But yes.
Anyway.
But this is better. I mean, this is going to give
a move in the right direction. Like you said, it's halfway there. A
lot of armies, some extra points. And I saw there's a lot of reductions in core units for most armies. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to see more points. But this is halfway there.
Yep.
And so this is a positive as far as I'm concerned.
All right. So let's take a look at the beast herds. And I went back, since it's Christmas, I went with the red and green.
Red and green.
Yes.
Our observer can't tell.
Oh. Yes. So what we have...
So you do understand there are people that are colorblind. Yeah.
Whatever. Not my problem.
Yeah.
The wild form item went down by 5. It's just, these are just minor point adjustments. You can see the Dark Forest up.
By 5.
Yeah.
A lot of checks. Beast Lord is down by 5, and the Chariot going up by 15. That's something of little bit of note.
Yeah, up by 10 basically from what you're used to. Since the Beast Lord himself went down by 5.
True.
So it's not that big of a deal, but you always see a Beast Lord on a Razor Chariot, so I can understand.
Yeah.
Mongrel herds got cheaper unless you have spears.
Yeah, so
the additional models.
Right. So, so it's no change if you got spears.
Correct.
Or it's
additional models at least.
Right, for extra guys. But if you're not playing with spears, then they incentivize you to take a little bit more of a horde, I guess. Same thing with the wild horn herds, extra models.
Yeah, I don't like either one of those names. They don't. The herd. Anyway, Briar Beast went down by 10. No big deal.
Yeah, every bit helps. I actually like them. I'm going to plays with them, but I kind of like the idea of them.
Yeah, I see one every once in a while.
Yeah.
And Longhorns, again, additional models getting cheaper.
Yep.
Just, again, to me, that seems to be they're incentivizing their larger units.
Yeah, definitely in the horde-based armies, which this is.
Minotaur's shields got more expensive, even though I'm seeing hardly anybody use Minotaur's
shields. Yeah, you
shields.
mentioned that. I always thought that was a good option for these guys.
Yeah, I mostly see them just going for the attacks.
Yeah, but because they have the Frenzy minus, and they've got, they're still only Resilience 4 and not well armored, to me, and you don't get the extra attacks in second rank anyway, so.
Right. True. But going from a 6-up armor to a 5-up armor, really.
Yeah, I think the parry is what...
or 0 to 6, I forget which one it was.
Which is helpful. And when you're getting shot at and all of that, I can see it being
Okay.
taken. But yeah, I'm not like great weapons.
Make
but,
sure you put shields on your Minotaurs from now on.
Yeah, I got the shields.
Both chariots went up, minor, 5 and 10 points, not a big deal.
10, I guess, matters a bit.
Um,
5's almost whatever.
the next thing kind of bugged me because
Bug.
one of the things I was hoping was this would the balance update would start to address the single model issue.
Oh,
And all 3 of their monsters went down.
yeah.
So
I was surprised that Gortok went down. I mean, people complain that he doesn't have any armor or ages saved, but he's still really good.
he's still really good.
I mean, I understand the Cyclops going down. It still probably costs too much, but because we can't really fight that well with a low weapon skill, and he becomes an expensive rock lobber.
Yeah.
And the Jabberwock, I mean, he flies, but yeah, he's still.
I mean, the rock lobber is typically 200, so
Yes.
he's 130 point defensive rock lobber.
Yeah, not that defensive is the thing, but yeah.
Okay.
I think he's got like weapon skill like 2.
Right. He does have a stomp, which doesn't have to roll for that.
Yeah, if infantry attacks him.
Yep. All right. And the Jabberwock went down, which means you're going to be seeing that the Fear Bomb issue is going to be coming back a little bit, even though it's 15 points. It's not a major change.
Yeah, well, if you take 2 of them, it's 30 points.
Yeah, but they don't stack, at least.
Yes, but it's for covering the army. So, I mean, not a big change for that army, but you'll see a few little extra guys. Okay.
Oh, this is just a lot of changes.
Yeah, well, it's because they have this is the Dwarves,
Correct.
and they have the runes, so you have to put them all in here.
Correct. And they all generally went down, except for the Dragon's Breath is the easy way to breeze through that piece.
Yeah, and it seemed to be a popular item, that one and the lightning one.
The lightning one.
The one where you fight and you get... Is that the lightning one? Where you can put them on all your guys and get automatic hits on people.
That's the dragon.
Oh, is it the dragon?
No, you're right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that one didn't change, of course.
Yeah, I thought that one would go up in points because, at least I always see people saying they want to take a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, the 5-point upgrade on the 5-point addition for either of the Dragon Seeker models you take. The King went down by 10, but his shield or his shield bearers both went up. So
Right.
If he's on anything, his price just went down by 5. If he's going to do anything, addition. Because all his upgrades went up. Well, the upgrades you're seeing here all went up by 5.
Right. Well, if you take the shield and the shield bearers, it's going to be the same. Or the War Throne.
Right.
Yeah.
Thane went down a little bit. Same thing with his shield and Holdstone.
And there's a lot of that where, the base cost went up or down, and then the upgrades, went the opposite direction. So it ends up being like a 5-point or 0 change. So I guess they're trying to focus you on certain combinations, and I don't know the stuff well enough to know what. Same with all those runes. I don't know what difference in some of the points. I mean, it may, because it doesn't seem like they affect the stacking, but maybe they do.
What do you mean by that?
Like with magic items, sometimes you've got a specific layout. It ends up being exactly 100 points.
Got it.
And 5 points doesn't seem like, but now you can't take all 3 items.
Except they all went down.
Yeah.
Except for the Dragon Breath.
Yeah, except for the Dragon Breath. So I don't know if it means you can take an additional thing or
Could be.
that you couldn't do before or whatever.
The Ancestral Memory went down by 20. That's big.
Yeah.
20 is significant. That means it's almost an auto take now for that guy. If he's but this only applies if your Thane is your general, though. So he's the only way you can get Ancestral Memory with him.
Yeah.
Giving hatred to a unit is big. Or hatred against a unit, I should say.
Yeah. But if you're taking the guy, yeah.
But again, it has to be your Thane has to be your general to be able to get this.
Right.
So,
I mean.
Moving on, what do we see? The Marksmen now can take great weapons for half the cost.
Yeah, I like that.
So we'll be seeing a lot more of them, I think.
Yeah, because right now, it was just so much better to take them just with the shield and shoot and then.
Well, the shield is so much better because it's giving you the 5-up save if you get charged.
Yeah, and it's just keeping your guys alive.
Right.
This can make them a little more offensive.
Yeah, but
'Cause
going
you're giving
last
that
and
up.
taking their hits first, I don't think you're going to see it much.
Well,
Even
I
at
think
that cost.
well, the other one you get for free.
Right.
So,
No, I'm saying so.
so, I mean, this makes it better, but I think what I'm trying to say is, I think their army base rule with the shield is so good. I'm not seeing why you would, because it's still only a strength 3 attack.
Right.
I mean, it goes up to strength 5 with it, but still only 1 attack. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Warriors, you can see starting cost. Warriors and Greybeards, starting costs went up, but additional models both went down.
Right.
So you're quickly overcoming that if you add 5 guys to each one.
And this was an army I could see playing as MSU before.
Right. And now they're definitely hurt doing that.
Yeah. Now
Not by a ton, 10 points, but that's still 10 points a unit.
It adds up,
Correct.
Although I guess it pays for itself because you're going to save on some of your command. So you should still be able to
if
field
you
your
take
old
command
army.
with your MSU. A lot of people don't.
That's true.
So, anyway, Deep Watch actually went down.
Right.
Both starting and additional models.
Yeah.
Grudge Buster dropped.
I wasn't a fan of Deep Watch, so I always like Grudge Busters. They kind of went out of favor.
5 points per model on a hold Guardian is not a huge change, but
No,
you
no.
save it.
Yeah, you probably feel them in 6s, so yeah.
You're saving 15 points. 10-6.
No, 5 points per model.
Yeah, for additional.
Points. Oh, per additional. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Same thing with Kingsguard, of course, did the up for the base cost and down for the additional.
Right, which ends up being a wash unless you get really big.
I mean, you end up saving points. I mean, it only went up by 5 points.
That's true, and it is 3 points per model.
3 points per model additional. So if you do any more than the starting, you're going to make your points back.
Yeah.
Rangers went down a point.
Yeah, it's almost like, okay, whatever.
Seekers, okay. What else? Forge Ward.
Not surprised they went up. I actually surprised they only went up by 5 points. But
what,
Seekers,
the Seekers?
Yeah.
The for the starting cost too. So I mean that's nothing. Forge Wardens went down significantly, 15 points and 4 points a model because no one's using them.
And they're still not cheap enough. Yeah.
Okay. Attack Copters went up a bit, but down if you take
the second one, the second one's still not cheap enough to want to do it. And the increase in the 1 is not enough to stop you from taking it.
I'm not sure that I've ever seen them taking 2s.
No.
I'm trying to remember that. Here's my favorite.
Well, when you're taking 2 and you're paying that much, now you want the thing to be able to fight stuff, and it still can't fight anything. So.
Right. Well, maybe you have 2, you can fight twice as good.
Yeah, still can't fight anything. Just give up that many extra more points.
They can fight chaff.
Yes, that's
if there's 2 of them, not if there's 1.
Yeah, then you're paying. But what are you paying to fight that chaff? 300 and some odd points. So
The organ gun went down.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me.
It's a huge surprise to me.
And it even went down if you runecraft it.
Yeah.
So that's a surprise for me because I can't imagine this army not having 1 or 2 of these. I actually think it's the best artillery piece in the army.
It's really good.
For my taste, that is. I mean, a lot of people like cannons, and I like the bolt thrower too.
Well, having the advantage of your misfire does a wound to you.
Yeah.
At most. Yeah. So
anyway, the amount of,
it misfires very rarely.
Yeah, and the amount of damage these things can put out too, and they're good against everything. That's why I like organ guns so much in the game.
Correct. Especially with the +1 to wound.
Yeah, whereas most everything else, it's kind of like, oh, I'm really good against this, but not so good against this. But
Yep. All right.
Yeah. And those are the dwarves.
Okay. As you can see, this is a lot of up and down across the board with the what is it now? The demonic legions.
Yeah. Now, I don't remember what half of the manifestations do off the top of my head, so against different things. So it's Iron Husk. I think that's the
toughness.
The toughness one. I think it's a big one. That was a surprise because I really liked that one myself. Going up to a 6 because everybody's a 5 in this army, all the characters.
Right.
So going up to a 6 is a big deal to me. So I guess people didn't like it.
Yeah, the courtesan also kind of surprised me, dropping 20 points. But
yeah, I'm not as big on the courtesan, but I know a lot of people like that. That's just the whole idea of charging a flank or rear is such a big deal.
Right.
You know, the Savar is very popular. I can see why it went up, although various reasons. The Maw, yeah, okay, that's a big chunk for the Maw.
It is, but it was starting to get some traction.
Yeah, it was popular. And the Sentinel, interesting. Pretty big chunk. The Scourge, I'm still a Scourge fan. I think that's fine.
The two of the core units, the Succubi and the Lemurs, take the same benefit of a lot of other core, where the base cost went up a bit and the additional went down.
Yeah, this affects my build at least, because I was doing MSU on the Succubi.
Right.
But yeah, that increases them. But yeah, they want you to play the bigger units. And the Lemur is also the same thing. Although I think they were better on slightly bigger units anyway, just because they're all just about sitting there and not dying.
Yes. So yeah, you've got to take 15 additional models to make your points back on that unit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah, yeah. So that's more expensive because I was playing them in like mid-20s.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, so you'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's the people that are playing those in the MSU is what.
Yeah.
The problem.
The Myrmidon's going down for extra models because that's another nice MSU unit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're incentivizing you, but not enough, I don't think, to matter.
Eidolon.
Yeah, they went down to point and still cost too much.
Hellhounds are about the same. Yeah, I mean, these are minor point adjustments you can see across through here.
I don't really think that. I mean, it affects people. They might have to drop a musician somewhere to compensate. That's what most of the stuff ends up doing. Thresher engines are going up. The Horde one.
The middle size one.
Which is the middle size. I didn't know even people took it, but obviously they do. So, you know.
Yeah. That's the...
I like them. I like them small, so small. But
what else do you have?
And the Clawed Fiends starting price. I took these, so they went down. So that makes me happy.
Yeah,
I think people like the other creatures better. I just liked them because they were fast and you could go through armored stuff with them, and they're additional models. And I was playing these.
Kind of went the opposite route with the Hoarders, where the base went down and the additional went up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, clearly people weren't using Clawed Fiends, so
yeah.
And the Hoarders. And I guess that makes sense because the Hoarders are another just, brick that sits there. You can't get rid of it.
Right.
So it's much better when you put extra guys there, especially when you give them the buffs with the attributes.
Benefits.
Cloven Hooves going up by 15. I'm very depressed.
Yes. You liked that upgrade, didn't you?
Well, to me, it was an auto take. Just stomp attacks. All auto. Anything auto hit at a good strength in this game is so overly good comparatively. You want to take it.
Agreed. And round that off with the Veil Serpents going down. And
yeah, I don't like them, so they're still not cheap enough to me.
And the Unhinging Jaw going way up, doubling in the Bloat Flies.
On the Bloat Flies, yeah.
Again, a unit of 3, we're only talking about 12 points, so it's not huge.
Exactly.
Well, I say it went way up. It's not that big.
Yeah. I actually thought they would change something on the Bloat Flies this time around, but I guess not.
All right. Sonstal?
Now we have EOS. Yes.
Empire of Sonstal. What do we got?
So we start off with some magic item changes, and what do we got? The Shield of Voland. I forget which one that is.
Yeah, it's a 5-point upgrade.
Yes.
It's not a 5-point down.
It's cheaper. I don't remember which one it is. I don't think I took it, so I don't remember it. Is that for Flame? Same thing. Household Standard going up by 5. It's still a great deal.
Yep. Artificers, pistol.
Because to me, it's an auto take for this arm if you got guys on foot. So
right.
Pistol getting cheaper. That's nice because I always put pistols on my guys because
only the Artificer.
Yeah.
Okay. But his horse went up.
Well, the big thing with the Artificer, he's going to die most of the time because he stinks in combat.
Correct.
So all you got is you're hoping that maybe that chaff unit charging you
takes a wound and breaks.
Yeah, takes a wound and won't close.
Okay.
But it's cheap enough to to take.
It's now 5 points.
Yeah. And even the gun, you can sit back there and just plink people at
Shoot
range.
people.
So and because if you're putting it in your shooting infantry, then at least you're not losing a spot, and you don't have to pay too much for it.
Okay.
The horse is interesting going up by 5.
Yeah, so he keeps you less mobile, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting because I actually had some on horses too, just to when you're trying to move around, it keeps you survivable. The Inquisitor. This is one of those models that you want to take it,
Right.
but you've got so many other things you got to do with this army. It's hard to figure out how to take it. Except on the horse. Then you want to take him because he's a fantastic cowboy.
Right.
Especially with the upgrades. But yeah, I still don't think that's going to help them on foot any, or taking a crossbow either. I still think he's still too good fighting in combat not to use him that way.
Right.
If you use him.
And his fighty upgrades, it's only 5 points for the Blessed Steel.
Yeah.
So
he gets paid for the horse. So
right.
It went up a good amount, but he's still so good.
Okay.
Marshall.
Yeah, general 10-point decrease on him, unless he's a great tactician, of course. Then you pretty much stayed the same.
Yeah.
Because you see the great tactician all over the place.
Well, you need all the buffs you can get in the army.
Right.
I'm not sure it needed to be raised in cost. I think that just speaks to the problems the army has.
The Imperial Prince gets the 10% discount.
Yeah, that's nice.
And his horse got a 5 points as well.
Yeah.
So nice. Prelate looks like it got marked wrong because it actually went down.
Yes.
Look at that. All right.
So you're confusing the colorblind people.
Somebody made a mistake.
Scoundrel you. Yeah.
So the prelate went down, but his horse went up. If he's on horse, he stays the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this one I like, although it's still, because I'm a battle. I like the idea of the
altar battle.
The model. So you want to use it. The battle altar. It was just it got so expensive to field them that way. So it's helpful, but it's still kind of expensive. But now he's gone down by 5, plus the battle altar's gone down by 15. So that's 20 points.
Yeah.
It helps, I guess.
The arcane engine went down by 10 for the wizards. If you want, for the wizard to ride it.
Is it the rider one or is this the standard?
Well, it says wizard, so I'm assuming that's the riding one. Yeah, because
Okay.
down below. The regular one went down by 10 as well.
Okay.
Looks like, looking ahead.
Yeah, because I saw less of these being taken.
Yep.
But it's a cheap buff wagon.
Cav went up with base cost.
For the 5 of them.
For 5, but if you run them in 10s, they pretty much stayed the same.
Right.
Actually, it got a little bit cheaper.
What surprised me is a knightly order going down.
Going down, yes.
Per model. That's a
nice change.
Yeah.
Crossbows, finally, you're going to have to pay for those, which is the crossbow upgrade no longer is free.
Oh.
For infantry.
Yeah. I guess instead of the handguns. People were playing it because of the extra range, I suppose.
Extra range and extra hitting. There is no. My mistake.
Yeah, they hit worse, but
actually, the armor piercing is worse. But
yeah,
people like the range.
Right, because it's the range, so you don't have to worry about winning the first turn and not having anybody in range to shoot them. So that's the bonus of them. So people were taking them for that. So, but yeah, so maybe it'll cause people to have handguns. Maybe not.
Good.
They're in minimum units of. Are still 10s or 15s? I don't remember.
I don't recall 15s, I believe.
Yeah.
Because
I take them as 15s. I just don't remember if that's the minimum or not.
Militia and heavy infantry both went down for additional models.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. There's the it's the additional model thing. Still trying to encourage bigger.
Yeah, no, I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
The arcane engine went actually down, which we mentioned before. Imperial Guard starting went up, but additional went down.
And it's 2 points per model. So that adds up.
It does if you take a large unit.
Yeah, because I always took them as medium size, but I liked them a lot. I guess people were playing them as MSU.
Yeah. Look at this. The Sun Griffin Knights went down.
Yes. As did the additional models, even.
Correct.
Even more so. Maybe people don't like these. I'm not sure why people don't like them.
People like them.
There's
one person in particular who hates them.
That's true. We know one person who hates them.
I think that hatred overcomes all the like I hear.
I haven't fielded them only because I have these models and I can't figure out how to get guys to straddle these bear models I have.
Yes.
I can't do the conversions without a lot of work.
Flagellants took the same treatment as everyone else with the base, or a lot of other units with the base going up, but the additionals going down.
Yeah, do you ever see these in MSU?
No.
I would think so.
I always see big units of these.
Yeah, I think they cap at 30.
Right.
But yeah, that's a nice way to play this. Volley gun went down.
Yeah. That is another fantastic artillery piece.
Especially when you take 2 of them.
Yeah. It's a really good artillery piece, and it's down. So, all right.
People are enamored by, I guess, cannons and tanks, but the volley gun is, to me, is just so wonderful.
Yep.
And the Reiter's going up by 5 points.
Okay. A lot of the smaller cav units went up, I saw.
Yeah,
the fast cav
by
stuff.
5 points. Yeah, here and there.
Again, not making a huge difference.
Okay, why didn't you split this one up?
I don't know.
We get like the teeny text here.
It's like 2 points off.
You know, there's other gamers that are as old as us and can't read.
No, there's not. No one as old as you.
Yeah. Except for you, because you're older.
Sliver of the Blazing Dawn went up by
5
like 1/10 of what it should. Anyway, just kidding, because I face that all the time.
Yeah, it's a popular item. I think once you get okay.
Yeah, 5 and 10, 5 point upgrades. You know,
As I said, I don't know if it's
may push you beyond
a combination.
Something.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Correct.
But otherwise, whatever.
The big Master of Karnreg Tower took a big hit.
Yeah, that's a big. He's still good.
He's still good. But then if you only take the lower level guy, he took a big discount.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So
he's a adept or he's an apprentice?
Adept.
An adept, okay.
So what else?
That's interesting. So they want you to take the adept and not the master.
It's just the way it was, probably the way it was being taken.
Yeah, I prefer the adept, so okay.
Fleet officer and his fleet officer went down, but his griffin went up.
Yes.
Yeah. Queen's companion went up.
Okay. 10 points.
Yeah.
The griffin going up, I guess that was a popular thing. 20 points, yeah.
Yeah. What do we got? Commander went down. His Dragon Forged armor went up. His griffin went up.
20.
Yeah.
They're sending a message about elves and griffins, it looks like.
High Prince bounced around a bit. I mean,
Well, he's up 5.
he's up by 5.
And he takes his armor, which you're always going to take.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Unless, yeah.
It starts getting expensive. You'll think hard about it.
It does. But it's not a big deal. 20 points for his griffin, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what else you take, I guess. Yeah, there's the griffin again. And then the archers, dropping archers.
Yeah.
Still not cheap enough, but
Well, point a guy. I mean, 5 base, which is nothing because they start in 10s. That's
Exactly.
half a point, right?
right.
And then appoint a guy after
Point
that.
a guy, and you're not going to fill them in that larger groups anyway.
Right.
It gets to be a challenge when you have things like archers, which can't really use their ability after 2 guys. You know, to pay the stat points per your model for
Right.
the extra ones. You know, they can fight against crappy guys, and that's it. So, you know.
What do we got? Spears went up. Additional went down. Highborn Lancers went down both.
So you have to fill them
Again,
in 20
minor.
to pay for the spearmen. You have to fill them in blocks of 20, which you probably want them 20 or 25
Yes.
anyway.
Correct.
So, okay.
Not a big deal.
Lancers, I was kind of surprised they went down. A lot of other cavalry went up.
It's a point a model.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But while other models are going up.
the base went down 5 also, so just overall they went down. I guess it doesn't quite hit hard
Well,
enough.
I was saying a point a model because I rarely ever see more than 5.
Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
the Sea Guard actually went up and their additional models went up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, I'm seeing a lot more Sea Guard than I used to. So,
Well, people get the multi-purpose out of them, and they don't cost that much more than the spearmen. Although you get, I think it's 10 versus 50, it's less guys. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it's it's that cover fire thing that they
Yeah.
have that's nice.
Right.
And all 3 of the special groups, the Flame Wardens, the Lion Guard, and Swordmasters, all went down a point a model.
For the extra models, yeah.
Right. Yeah, not a major thing.
Yeah,
Phoenix went down a few points.
Yeah, I mean, a point for expensive guys just isn't going to do anything.
Right.
You know, like I said, unless you're really flitting at the margins, but I think you're going to drop a commands model before you did anything with that.
Right.
Yeah, the Phoenix going down, and the Fire Phoenix went up.
Yeah, but still down 5.
But ends up being down 5, and it's still got issues, I think.
I still see the Phoenixes all the time.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
still good.
it's really nice having a flying Gribbly. It just
Right.
doesn't quite do enough when it gets there.
All right. Moving on. Kingdom of Aquitaine.
Kingdom of the KOE.
I like the first one. The Oriflamme going down
me
is
too.
fantastic. I love that banner.
No one, I think you and I are the only people that like it.
Well, it was the 80 points that scared a lot of people away.
Yeah, I understand. And
Now it's 70. Now it's 65. I think you'll see more of it.
I think so too. I just think it's like a fantastic item, especially for this army.
Yeah. Banner of the Last Charge, which is in almost every list. It's up by,
Yeah, I think it's a trap. But
and
yeah,
the Virtue of Might went up.
Might will keep going up.
Yeah, I'm surprised it keeps going up even after breaking it up and not allowing it with.
The army
Anyway,
needs those couple of characters to win because they don't win with their units.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. Until they
but
fix the units, they're gonna.
yeah, but they keep nerfing the thing you have to have.
Yeah.
So anyway, Unicorn you might see a few more of with a few points
down 85 still costs too much. I mean,
it is. It's a lot of points for that.
it's not that it's well worth the points. It's just the army is so starved for points,
especially in characters. Yes.
in characters, that you just can't afford to pay for these things for the damsel. You know,
Yep.
and that's the problem. So it still costs too much. Not because it's not worth it. It's just you can't afford it because you need your characters so badly.
Looks like pretty much everybody on foot went down.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the return of the peasant armies. No.
The Grail Knights went down by 5 points.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise for the core because I thought the darts of 3 were popular.
I liked them. I was pretty much the only one.
Oh, okay. Well, even the block of them went down. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's 12 there plus 5. So, yeah, that's almost 20 points.
The Reliquary went down. I went up. Took a fairly big
Crusaders went down. Then the Reliquary went up, yeah.
Scorpion, that's taken all the time, went up by 5.
Yes.
It's still well worth
Still
it,
worth
120
it, yeah.
points. Trebuchet went down by 5. Doesn't make you're going to take. Still not going to take it, probably.
Still costs too much.
It's still very expensive.
Well, it's a challenge, yeah, because this army needs its mobility.
Right.
So you can't afford to defend it, and you don't want to leave it by itself at that point cost. So
and
it's
now
hard
you've got to buy a unit to defend it. And you don't want to do that.
Babysit it, and so it's
Right.
like it makes it a hard choice. And compared to a lot of other war machines that do a lot of damage, it frankly doesn't match up very well.
Green
Knight.
Green Knight went up 15.
Yeah, you said you've been seeing him a lot.
He's showing up a lot.
Yeah.
The emergency chaff that can actually fight and do stuff.
Yeah, I like him. I still think he costs too
Anyway.
much. I'm surprised it went up actually.
Yeah. I'm not the number of times I've seen him.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Yeoman Outriders additional models went down. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone take more than.
And the beauty is, you still won't.
But your light armor went up as well.
But
so.
you know what's better comparatively speaking?
What's that? Oh yes, your Castellan.
The Castellan
on one guy on the mount.
Now the Castellan's cheaper for one
Yeah.
of those than it is for the unit of Outriders. All right.
And the Peg Knights went up. Down. Sorry.
Peg
My
Knights went
mistake.
down.
Peg Knights went down. Base and additional.
Yeah, I guess people haven't been taking them. I think that's fantastic.
Just don't don't taking them for another year, please.
Exactly.
Let's see what happens.
I love me some Peg Knights.
See if they can go down even
I'm
more.
just surprised anything that would fly and could fight would go down in price. But yeah, okay, I guess people haven't been taking them.
Yep.
Although it's back to if you were. Well, it's weird though because the Grail Knights have gone up and the Peg Knights are gone down, and those are usually the two things that suck up all your special points.
Right.
But the Questing Knights didn't go down.
All right.
Yeah, interesting.
Let's pause for just 1 second.
Do we have technical difficulty?
Let's go back there.
So what happened?
All right. And moving on. Now we're back to the Ogre Kingdom.
The OG.
Yes.
The original OG.
So the Troll Eater and the Headhunter both went up a bit. Viper's Curse went down. Not a big deal. Great Khan went down. And his Great Weapon. It's the second time in a row I think he's gone down. I think he took a decent a few points down last update as well, if I remember correctly.
I think those people like those Mammoth Hunters so much they don't fit them in.
Mammoth Hunters got hurt,
Yes.
which is a good thing to me.
It's a pretty big spike, actually.
Unless you put him on you put him on a rock, then he's the same cost.
Yes. But putting out the mass of 4 of them running around by themselves.
So he's 5.
That got a lot more expensive.
Well, here's the interesting thing. He's 540 on a rock.
Yes.
Right? But a rock is 500.
Yes, I know.
So he's 40 points on a rock.
Yeah.
I guess it forces the rock into your character points. You lose 300 points worth of character points.
Right.
Ooh. Anyway, so there you go. Mammoth Hunters got hit all over the place. Like I said, unless they're mounted.
Right.
So, but then you can't, if they're mounted, you can't do the shenanigans with them where they do the Vanguard and bounce off the...
They're scary in other ways. But yeah, no, it's kind of
Correct.
ridiculous. The cowboy Mammoth Hunters now.
Correct.
The 1 point for bruisers, I think, is almost a joke. What is that? 6 points, maybe? 3 to 9 points? I don't know.
It's not very many.
It's like, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
9 points at most.
Yeah.
For a unit of 12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tribesmen, there you go. Tribesmen went down 2 points a month.
Yeah.
Ken Eater went up a bit. Veterans went down a bit. And their additional models went down a bit. Whew. And their halberds.
This wasn't surprised. This is like one of the biggest surprises for me.
The veterans going down?
More than the Grail Knights and the Pegasus, the mercenary veterans going down. These guys are scary for so many people.
They
especially
are.
if you have a mammoth floating around.
Not the Frost Mammoth.
Frost
yes.
Mammoth,
Yeah. Tusker Cav went down a bit.
More dropping monstrous prices.
Yep. At least this is a unit at least, not a single model.
Well, that's the starting price is 10, but you save 10 on each model too.
Correct. Yep.
So, that's not that I saw them that big usually, but
yeah, no one's taking that many.
the minimum is 3 now. They raised it from 2 to 3. Didn't
Yeah,
they?
I think it went to 3. Correct.
So you see them in 4s.
So you see them in 3s and 4s.
Yeah, so you save 20 points for 4 of them. That's something.
Frost Mammoth went down a bit. Still a
10
really good model.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of them, but I think the thing's fantastic.
And the Rock went up, surprisingly.
Yep.
And your Giant's Great Weapon went up by 5.
Okay.
So if you want your guy to go last, now you got to pay for it a little bit more. Yeah. So.
Didn't know that was a big choice option for that army.
Look at this.
Orcs
and Goblins. And the Zappin' Bow is only about 40 points away from being a valid weapon.
From the right choice, from the right price, yeah.
It did go down to 50. There you go.
Ooh, yeah.
Forest Goblin King, his mounts went up by 10.
So I'm sorry.
Yep, whatever.
Huntsman Spider went up, and the
Gargantula.
best mount that these guys have didn't change at all.
The best mount that they have. Oh,
Yeah.
shh.
The great
Don't say it.
Is it only because people don't have the models because they're hard to find?
It's a cave goblin though. This is for a forest goblin. He has poison attacks.
Yeah, great.
So come on, leave the cave goblin alone.
People just use it because they have the models. It's just, I'm sorry, just
The Witch Doctor went down 10 points. Deserved.
yeah.
He was overcosted for what he was.
I think he still is.
He is, but at least he's heading in the right direction.
It's a challenge because the orc and the goblins, unless you really want witchcraft, the orc and the goblins, stat-wise, the orc is just so much better. And yeah, as far as a caster, it's the same thing. But yeah, you can actually fight with that orc wizard.
Yes. Orc models went down. Standard orcs went down by a point, but the ferals went up by a point.
Well, I'll make you happy.
Same thing with the Ed Bashers, down by a point for extra models, unless you're feral, which is a significant one because the Ed Bashers went down a model for additional. Ferals went up a point every model.
Yep.
Which is a fairly big change.
Like a 30-point increase.
30-point hit for that. Which, if you have full command, then it's a wash.
Yes.
So, anyway. Shady Kits went down by 5. They're the same cost as a champion now. Interestingly enough, they were 5 points cheaper than a champion before. Now they're the same price as a champion.
If you can be motivated to take those type of common goblins, or to me, they're an automatic take. It's just
you got to take.
The problem isn't those guys; it's those compared to the other 2 types of goblins.
Yep. The nets now are viable again. If you take a unit of 30 cave goblins, it used to be 60 points for nets. Now it's only 30.
Yeah, I think they need to fix this to a fixed point.
Yeah, but now it's doable again.
It's getting there, but because goblins, the whole idea is you want to take them. They should want you to take them in really big units, as big as you can. And when you do that, the point per model upgrades are. It's like because the extra guys aren't fighting, so doesn't help you any.
Ironworks. Ironworks went down by a point for additional models. So every model over 15, you save 1 point. Congratulations.
So you save 5 points.
So you might save 5 or 10 points.
Yeah.
But it's going to cost you because your wolf chariots went up by 5 points a model. Or so, yes, 5 points a model.
Yeah, and the additional ones, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it says the unit starts at additional 5. That's the unit is 1
the
model.
Unit of 1, yes.
Correct. Nasher Dashers moved down by a point a model. That's fantastic. Again, we're about...
well, the base cost went down by 5 also.
Yeah, that's a point a model.
That's true.
So they're still not being taken by anyone. Trust me.
I like the fly.
Go ahead. I know you like it, but they're still not being taken by anyone.
They don't have hard target, do they?
Nope. No one's taking those. It's not happening.
They need to give them hard target.
They need to give them something.
Well, I mean, I think the fly is a big deal because you can just jump over your own guys and attack. And
all right.
But you have so many special choices in this army that you want to take instead of these guys in the guard.
Yeah. The Nasher Herd went up by the starting models went up by a point apiece.
Yeah.
So 140. The way I like to run them in the units of 10, I'm paying extra for them.
Yep.
Anybody who's running the big units, it's an extra 10. It's not that big of a deal. I'll still run them in 140. So.
Yeah, it's still cheap.
Trolls went down 5 points a model.
Additional trolls.
For additional trolls.
Yes.
Doesn't help their stupidity at all or their leadership 4, so they're still where they are for me.
Yeah, but bridge trolls are,
Yeah, good job.
Even a better discount.
They are. Actually kind of like the bridge trolls with a -1 to be hit in combat, distracting. Doesn't matter. They're trolls.
Yeah, well,
they're leadership 4 stupidity.
They've got to fix stupidity.
Yes.
Or leadership 4, one of the 2 of them.
Correct. I mean, if they're leadership 6, they have some chance of doing something.
Yeah.
Leadership 4 is you're not doing anything.
Well, the challenge with the leadership 4 is one is you're not doing anything, and 2 is if you do lose a fight, you're running.
Correct. Well, even leadership 6, you're running if you lose a fight. Now you're talking about a max you're going to have is 5.
Yeah, that's better than the 3.
It is, but they're
a lot better than the 3.
They're both pretty much automatic losses.
So they just need to fix something on. I mean, I don't like how the stupidity works anyway, but they should fix just that rule and they'd be fine. Or get rid of it on those models.
Great Green Idol costs 5 points more, but it's 5 points cheaper if he's the standard bearer.
I don't understand this at all.
What do you mean?
I can see taking this guy if he's going to be your BSB.
Yeah.
Because it frees up character points and you got a BSB that's hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that I understand. But taking him without it, I don't get because he doesn't do much. As far as he doesn't fight very well.
Yeah, but he makes other stuff around him better.
Yeah, to a point.
So I finally convinced myself to start trying this guy.
Yeah. As a BSB.
But as a BSB.
Yeah.
So anyway, because I'm not taking a spider out of my list to get him in.
Right.
Soaring Agents.
Okay, to the little
this
lizard
is in general a down update for them.
Yeah.
Not very much at all went up. Serrated Scales went down by a bunch. Tesseract went down by a bit. Sun Tablet.
You can see it, I guess, it's because you want the skink guy on the Palkid to give you some ability.
Yep.
But
yeah,
personally, of course, just because people take something doesn't mean it's so good it needs to go up in cost. This might be it fits the army really well, so that's kind of a tough thing. And then this was kind of surprising me: the Saurian veteran Raptor going down.
Oh, you missed the Soulfire Weaver went a huge chunk down.
Oh, that's the big one. I liked him before, so
right.
That makes it even more interesting. I think that makes it interesting to take that upgrade.
Yep, and there you go. Now the veteran on a Raptor went down by 10.
Just surprising because I thought they were trying to weaken cowboys.
I was hoping they were.
Yeah.
Pairs they weren't.
I guess not.
Because the Soaring Ancient guy the Saurian guy is really good.
They might as well somebody needs to make a model with a cowboy hat that fits on the Soaring Ancient head. It's like designed to be a cowboy.
Yeah. Captain went up by 5. The Skink Captain. 5 points. I wasn't seeing a lot of that anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me anything going up on Skinks at all.
Saurian.
And then the Pterodon, I guess people were... Yeah, the Ramphidon, I think you have to worry about the frenzy stuff, but so much better than the Pterodon. Of course, it costs more, but still.
Warriors down, and their additional models down, and their Crocodile Totem down. So, yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's interesting on the Warriors, I guess. I still like them. I guess people were playing with skink things, but if you play Warriors, you're going to be happy with that. And the Crocodile Totem's a good totem.
Yeah.
If you want to pay for the totem, that is.
Yeah.
Skink Braves came in. I don't see the... Yeah, okay, it's cheaper. Probably could be cheaper again. Well, just
I don't see a lot of those mixed units.
The mixed units is just, the combat res on the skink is so much. You don't gain enough. And the weapon skill 3 hitting on the great weapon on the other guy just is, I don't know. But the base Caimans, they went up.
Yeah, but the additionals went down.
And the additionals went down 5.
So if you're taking 4, then your price is the same.
Yep. If you're taking...
Yeah. If you take more, it went down.
Yeah, for the blocks of 6.
Yeah.
This one surprised me a lot.
The Raptor Riders?
The Raptor Riders going down 10 points.
20.
20 points, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because I love that unit.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's a unit that if it gets charged, and if you don't kill anybody, it's going to deal out 20 strength 4 attacks to you.
Exactly.
On defense.
Yes. No, and Resilience 4 got good arm. No, I love that unit.
Yeah. It's really good. Temple Guard went down starting and additional.
That's helpful. I mean, it's...
The additional guys going down by 4 is significant.
A lot, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, because you want to... It's one of the things. You want to play these guys to go with your... If you have the Quaddle Lord, if you go that option, but then they take away all your special points, so you don't want to do it. So it's a challenge. So it does make it so you do want to... it's almost like you would like to move these guys to core and just say you can only have 1 unit of them.
Right. Like the Ed Bashers.
Yeah. I think you'd see them use more. I think their problem is they're fighting against too many other things.
Right. Speaking of which, the Ramphidon Riders, which you mentioned earlier, are up in price even more if you take the shield. Yeah,
that's a big hit.
The Salamander upgrade took a little bit of a discount. And the Taurosaur went up by 20.
So and that's because you get the Weapon Beast and you have to pay for it if it's a Salamander or if it's the other one. Yeah, and I like the other one better. So yeah, because of the range. The Taurosaur going up. Well, I guess everyone was taking them.
Yes,
because it's only fighting monsters this army has. That doesn't have a guy on it.
Okay, I was going to say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And the other big monster went down.
Well, this is the little monster, the Therascutus. This is the Ankylosaurus. It still costs too much. It just doesn't do anything. These buffs aren't strong enough, to me. They're not strong enough buffs for it to be really effective buff wagons. And they don't do enough to fight. And they're not cheap enough for what they do to use them as chaff monster or light monsters.
Right.
For something that moves so slow.
Well, now at 250, it's not terrible, I guess.
Not terrible.
255. So.
Yeah.
So that's the Saurian Ancients, and now we're going to move to one of your friends.
Sylvan Elves.
Very few point upgrades in this.
Yeah, I'm surprised what's not here more than what is here. And there's a few things that surprised me. Now, this is an army that doesn't have a lot of command, so it's not going to save a lot of points with command.
Correct. Yes.
savings. So,
That is a good point.
yeah. Bow of Wiscan is 50 to 40. Maybe people will take it with that. +1 to wound at short range, though. Maybe. With the Pathfinder character, if he ever comes back again. Life Seed Feathers is still cost like 50 points, but too much now. Even at 60. It's not a fan. Sacred Seeds, okay. Drums of Senirin, you're fighting for magic item spots, so it's hard to fit it in. I'm actually surprised more people don't take the glyph. You don't get stomped. It's good for fighting characters.
Right.
Shield Bark, it's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. It's nice. But it's now cheap enough you might think about it. Because before it's like 60 was just so steep. Forest Guard Kindred. I like this Kindred, but it's just there's some design problems with this army until they redo it. It's hard to take that Kindred. You just rather have either a dancer guy, or you'd rather have a mounted guy. You'd rather have just so even though you get a lot of you get the extra armor and extra fighting ability, it's just hard to take it. Scarred Bark for the aspect of nature. I don't like any of the aspects. I think they're all too expensive myself. Avatar of Nature. He was going up for a long time. Now he's coming back down again.
Okay. 10 points on a 610 point.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever. It's not going to affect anything. It's still a lot.
1.5% decrease.
Yeah. And, the Druid going down by 5. Okay.
Right.
The Chief and Sylvan Blades and the Sylvan Lance going down. Those are, because you're going to have one of the two of those weapons. So it's surprising me that they dropped them. I'm happy about that. Because 20 was a bit steep anyway, but still. It's a nice thing for a -1 AP. Thicket Shepherd going up. I hadn't seen a lot of these. I thought people were moving away from the whole Thicket Beast and Thicket Shepherd design, but I guess not.
Not if your name's Phil Carl.
Yeah, I know he's got his list. So he went up by 10. Okay.
Yeah, but he saved the same points on that same unit with his commands.
Yeah.
No big deal there.
Right. Well, they don't have that much.
It just takes one.
Yeah, you get the champion. The Dryad going up by 5 for the base models.
Okay.
But dropping by only 1.
Yeah. So if you take 5 additional, you're a wash.
5 additional, you're a wash. So they're trying to push you to play larger units of Dryads. Okay. Just backing up, my challenge with all the tree characters is they have pretty good point amounts, which statistically they point out well compared to other people's characters, but you can't take all of the special items.
Right.
And that's what makes characters good in this game, is when you can start stacking special items. So at a core level, they're usually bad, monstrous infantry. So for what you're paying for them. So it makes it tough on some of those choices. The additional models, fine. The Cleansing Spirits, okay.
It's Clearing Spirits,
Clearing
by the way.
Spirit, yes, you're right. Clearing Spirits, yeah.
Although I think it might be correct what you're supposed to be
It's the holiday season. I've been eating a lot.
There you go.
The Forest Guard continue to go down in price. No complaint. Yep. It's I don't play them only because I've not gotten around after 30 years to paint my spirit.
Forest Guard.
Yeah.
Heath Riders.
But it adds up, because I think you can see these as 15s, save 5 points, or you can see them as maybe go to the 20. But if you think about 15 guys at 165 points, that's pretty nice. Heath Riders, well, the base ones you didn't see so much. They're not terrible.
So the Heath Hunters stayed the same, unless you're additional models.
The additional models also went down, so they're trying, I guess, to play the larger units of them.
Or to push you to Heath Riders instead of the Heath Hunters.
Well, the Heath Riders are scoring, which is the bonus.
Right.
The Heath Hunters, are not. And you're incentivized kind of to take them because at least they can move and fight and protect themselves, unlike the archers. But there's still something, I kind of wish they would just combine it into one model and just do that. The archers, I was surprised that the base archers didn't drop.
Right.
They're just so expensive. But the additional models because you'll see people play like one block of them that's decent size is their mage bunker or something. But yeah, that's just still so expensive. The Rangers, they're going to be free soon. They are worth the points, but they're fighting against other things that are just better in the army.
Right.
So, the Dancers are the thing that, of course, comes to mind. Everyone takes them because it's the one really fighty thing you have in the army. Kestrel Knights, another flying cavalry. I'm surprised they dropped in price.
Yeah, but if you take the shields, they're up in price.
Yeah.
So
maybe that'll affect somebody, but
probably not.
You're paying so much per model. I think you're going to pay for the shields anyway.
Right.
But I think they're a really good unit. Tree Father going down. Okay, still, I don't think he's cheap enough. But the Wild Huntsman going down a good chunk. 15's a big deal.
Right.
And then 5 points per additional.
Yeah, maybe they'll show up again.
Yeah, I think a unit of 5, unit of 7's a nice count for these things. You're better because of the price of them and their minuses. You're often better taking the character and putting them with something else. Maybe people will think a little twice about these guys. The frenzy again. It's like it's death to this army. You can't flee with these guys, and they frenzy.
Right.
So tough. Pathfinders. They dropped them. I thought this was an interesting combination. They dropped Pathfinders but they increased additional models for Sentinels. So they're trying to, because a lot of people take Sentinels because they were so much cheaper in my mind, and they want the poison. I like the Pathfinders, but just there's so many points for a strength, resilience 3 guy that can get magic missiled off the table.
Right.
And it's part of the idea used to be playing a decent sized unit was points of denial. You could keep away from people, but you can't keep away from fireballs.
Nope.
Want some fire scarecrow? So yeah. So interesting changes. I don't know if anything here is going to affect a lot of builds though, but I could
probably not. They all look like fairly minor adjustments.
Yeah. You might see the Huntsman appear again.
Undying Dynasties.
Yes.
A couple items. Yeah. The Scepter went down by 10, but the Desiccation went up 5. Not a big deal. Some terracotta stuff.
Yeah, makes me happy, except the chariots didn't go down. The characters all dropped for the terracotta.
They did.
Yeah. And Barrow Legion guys went up and down.
Barrow Legion's down. The Cav went up a bit, but everybody else down.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the difference of Cav. I think they can just take a regular lance. And they can take barding, I think.
You mean the light lance or regular lance?
Regular lance instead of light lance. Yeah.
Right.
When they're the Barrow Legion, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Pharaoh went down. A bunch of his equipment went down. So
yeah.
Except for his Pharaoh skeleton, his chariot. If you take a chariot, went up.
Right.
Because that's where I do see the Pharaoh being taken is on a chariot.
Yeah.
He's still cheaper by 5 if he's on a chariot, plus whatever upgrades you gave him.
Yep.
Shaw Guardian, I see him every once in a while. Not a lot.
Oh, do you? Okay.
He went down.
Yeah. 15.
No mark on a Shaw Guardian also went down.
You see a lot of no marks?
No.
Yeah. It's like an extra guy, it seems to me.
The
Arc of Ages went up 5 points.
Okay. Tomb Harbinger base cost went down by 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Skeletal Cav. No one takes Skeletal Cav.
Except if you're playing Barrow Legion.
Yes.
they got
even more cheaper.
Yeah.
Acropolis Guard went up.
Well, you take the Skeletal Cav when you can make them the light Cav, right?
That's different. The Skeletal Cav are not the light Cav.
Oh, it's a different unit.
It's a different unit. Correct.
It's not a pay. You're right. Yeah.
Acropolis Guard starting went up, additional went down, so it's a wash. It's a minor point upgrade, but if you take a unit of them, they're going to be cheaper.
Yeah, you can save a few points here and there.
You're going to take it, and this is the other thing is your 10-point champion that never goes away, basically.
Yeah. Now
instead of a 20-point champion that never goes away. If anything, I could argue for the undead guys champions to still cost 20. Anyway. Cataphracts additional models went down by 5. Not a big deal because you're not going to see units of more than 5 or 6.
Went up.
Sorry, up. That's what I meant. So, I mean, the unit of 5 or 6 is going to cost you 15 points more, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a 5-point swing on stuff, it just doesn't really matter that much.
Again, Shabti Archers, another 4 points a model, small units, not a big deal.
Oh, for additional?
Yeah, only for the additional.
Archers, okay.
Yeah. Sandstalkers went down, and their additional went down.
Yep.
I don't see those much.
And they still have to keep going down because they're down.
Tomb Reapers and their additional models also went down. And this I'm a big favor of, except that 5-point increase should have been much more. Just for recent memory, the Colossus.
Yes.
This was 415 now.
I don't know. It's like a 1.5% increase in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, he's very good.
I think he's really good. And I don't think that 5-point is going to make anyone hesitate to.
I'd still take 2.
Take him. Another army that had significant, number of decreases as opposed to increases.
VC,
but they got hurt in the last update.
Yeah.
So this may be partially a correction to some of that.
Could be, because you were seeing less of the armies. The old vampire counts.
Yeah. As you can see, bloodlines, a lot of bloodlines going down.
Mm-hmm. Not the Brotherhood of the Dragon.
Not the Brotherhood of the Dragon.
You mislabeled it again.
Did I again? Look at that.
You're playing with the colorblind yet again.
I am. Apparently I might be.
Yeah.
Turns out I might be colorblind. The vampire count himself went down by 10.
Yeah.
Up by 10, sorry. There we go.
Yeah.
Apparently I can't read it all.
There you go.
So there's that.
And that's like one of those things. Well, it's a vampire. Do you think everyone's going to have a vampire? Are you going to keep raising it until somebody doesn't take a vampire?
Yeah.
I'm
in with that.
If you're going to do that, change the damn name. So, yeah.
All right. Moving along. The big thing of significance is the cadaver wagon took a big chunk discount, 50 points out of 300.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was way over.
No, it was crazy. It's a great buff, but not
right.
It doesn't fight enough to pay that much for that buff.
And the guy on the wagon on its own also took a significant discount. So
the Barrow King's funny.
The Barrow King's funny because it's just kind of the opposite. He went down by 10. His steed went up by 10.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen him without a steed. So it's just basically, what are you doing? Right?
Maybe they want somebody to take a BSB on foot with them.
They really are wanting you to do that, but it's not happening.
He's a good cowboy, so this doesn't affect that.
Because he's a fantastic cowboy, and his points didn't change a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Fell Wraith went down. Skeletons, additional models going down. So even hordes of skeletons are going to be even more, which I like.
Yeah.
Ghouls, additional models down.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of ghouls?
Not a lot.
To me, their cost is a little high. The base cost is a little high also. So I think they need the price decrease.
Yeah. Bat swarms, starting cost up by 5. Additional models down. I don't see enough bat swarms. I don't think the additional model. This is a unit that's going to net being up, I think, because you don't see big units of these.
Because I think they come at 2, don't they? 2 bases.
Yes,
so
I think so.
If you play 3, it's not going to change.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's only going to change if you go in units of more than 3.
Right.
Direwolves additional model, so it's going to cost you a little bit extra to field that unit of 8 to push them into core.
Right.
Yeah, big deal. It's going to cost you 9 points more. 9 points? Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen these in big units? I don't know if they cap out.
I see them in 8s.
Yeah, I always see them in 8s. Yeah,
just to fit them in the core. Yeah, they're not, and no one's going to run them higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
Barrow Guard went down, and their additional models went down. Giant bats went up by 5.
It's a Barrow Knights. They'll add up 2 points per, so that's probably 10 extra, so 20 points. Yeah, 25 points. That's something. Yep. To me, I want to see 20 to 50 points. That's going to make decisions a lot of times.
Correct. Moving on, there's a cadaver wagon again.
The new one, yep.
Altar of Undeath went down a bit.
Yeah, glad to see that.
The Dark Coach went up. I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, it got very popular. Of course,
Didn't go up.
5 points isn't going to affect anybody.
Slightly over 1%.
Yeah. Unless you're playing, von Karnstein.
Right. Shrieking Horrors, again, I'm seeing again, so they're going to go up a bit. Vampire Knights additional model, 3 points a model.
I'm glad to see the overall reduction in knight prices.
Right.
Because I think knights cost too much in the game overall. But yeah, that's what, 3? And you see them, what, in 3s and 5s usually?
Correct.
So you're going to save
5s
3.
rarely, but...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Brotherhood went up a point. The Winged Reapers went down 15.
For additional models.
So
they start as base 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might see them as 3s. If you see them.
If you see them. So.
Well, I mean, it's a nice unit. It's just it's competing with other nicer units, I think.
Correct.
Ooh, another small text for little
No,
rats.
same text. This one's the same text. Come on now.
Looks small to me.
Yeah, well. Vermin Hulk Bodyguard, no big deal. 5 point reduction. The pistols cost you 5 points more for your machinist. No, and the Giselle went down by 5. I don't see those being taken anywhere, so
yeah,
makes sense.
You're moving too much.
The assassin went down by 10. I never see the assassin.
Right.
Vermin Demon, see him a lot, and now 20 point upgrade, 20 points more.
Yep, he's expensive. Does a lot for that army though.
Yep. Foot pads up by 5.
That kind of surprised me.
It doesn't surprise me because I see lots of starting units, 10 rat units.
Yeah, it's
all over the place.
People are trying to find scoring options for the army.
Right. Ratted Arms additional went down. That just means more rats. Vermin Guard down, more rats. For the same cost.
And that Vermin Guard is interesting because it's 2 points per model.
It is, but Vermin Guard are not a popular choice.
They're not, because the base costs much compared to the regular guys.
What you get out of them.
For what you get, and compared to the other core.
The Plague Disciples went up by 10. This was
not enough.
This was nowhere near enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's
Vermin Hulk's going up by 10 points for the starting. It was kind of a surprise to me, but the additional going down by 10 a model.
They start off
more than makes up for that.
2 models base?
I think they're 3.
Are they 3? I couldn't remember.
Pretty sure
2 or 3.
3.
Yeah.
So I mean, but as soon as you add 1 model to that, you break even.
Right.
So anyway, Thunder Hulks went down by 3.
Yeah, not enough as far as I'm concerned.
The upgrade. Gutter Blades went down by a few points. This will make them a little bit more popular. The only difference is they're not scoring, so they're not going to replace the foot pads completely.
Right.
But
they can actually hurt things when they're shooting.
Yeah, with the poison stuff. Mm-hmm. Dreadmill went up by 10. Still not enough. These are all from my own...
anything that's got a lot of special rules is hard to point correctly because it's either really good or it's not, depending on the situation. But yeah, I like the Grenadiers, but they're fighting with too many other things in the army
to fit in.
Yeah, but they made them cheaper.
Yeah, and so now maybe they'll find a place. Giselles went up by 5. Okay,
just for the starting cost. Though.
Just for the starting.
I thought they would be more on the additional models, but okay.
Yeah. Lightning Cannon went down, which kind of surprises me because I'm seeing it more and more.
It's going to make a friend of ours happy. He still might not take it, but
the Plague Catapult went up by 10. I'll go with my standard statement. Not enough.
Yeah, I think there's a typo on that one.
All the weapon teams went down by 5.
This one was another big shocker to me. I just thought these were always good value.
They are. Now down by 5.
I'm going to have 3 of them.
Yeah. And the Abomination.
15.
Up by 15.
Still really good.
Still really good. I just got rolled by an army with 2 of these, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad taste in my mouth, so I'm not going to...
Yeah, well, random movement things that can fight well in close combat are just, to me, a little broken in how the rules work.
I agree. Well, the single models are bad enough.
Right.
the way they can move.
Yes.
But then you throw on top of that the random movement, and now they're charging 360, and
Exactly.
to me, that's ridiculous.
Now you're gambling how far he can roll in his dice before he
Correct.
kills you, because you can't get out of his arc or anything. So
And speaking of
that's
that,
terrible.
then you take an army like this, and now you can take an item that lets you re-roll that distance.
There you go. The WDG,
anyway.
Warriors of Dark Gods.
Yes, the Burning Portent went down. Surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised on that one.
Zealot's Banner went down. Another
by
really
10.
good item.
I mean, it's a real expensive sword, but
right.
Yeah.
Dark Prelate went down a bit. War Dice went up. The Sky Wheel went down, but that's for the Lord on the Sky Wheel.
Yeah, you would take that.
Warrior starting costs went up. Additionals went down. The Lust they value a bit more went up.
On the Warriors, yeah.
Yep. Warrior Knights all went down.
More Knights going down.
Chosen starting and additional went down. Chosen Wrath even went down.
Have you been seeing a lot of Chosen? The
No.
monstrous infantry guys?
No.
Yeah.
Chosen Knights, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Chosen Knights down.
And the Chosen Knights. That surprised me. Another monstrous cav dropping in points. I didn't expect that.
Right. The Chariot, Chosen Chariot went up a
Yeah.
bit. Chosen Chariot's really good. All its upgrades went up.
Right. Well, it's basically a monster.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Except it doesn't move like a monster. Doesn't have the movement of a monster. The distance.
Oh, sure. I mean, it depends on the monster.
No, because a monster can usually march, and this can't.
Yeah.
The Wretched ones going down by 5. Okay. But then up by 5 for additionals. What do we got? The Battle Shrine.
I'm sorry. The Wretched ones. Yes,
Wretched
yes.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one when you get the monster version.
Yep. Flares went down a couple points for additional models, but I never see more than 5, so
right.
Doesn't mean anything. The Feldrex went up, and their additional weapons, most of their weapon options. Sorry, additional models and paired weapons.
And the paired weapons to give an extra attack. So yeah, our buddy's going to be upset. He has his 2 units of these.
Correct. Forsaken one went up by 10. That's the random movement monster, speaking of which.
Yeah, that's the big gribbly one. Yeah.
Right. And the Feldrek Elder went up a decent chunk, 20 points, and he usually has paired weapons, so he really went up 35.
Yeah, paired weapons. I can see a halberd also, but same point increase.
Yeah, I usually see him with paired.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, he's a really nice monster.
He is.
Especially you have 2 of them.
And that's the armies.
Yeah.
Now you notice the Dread Elves and the Infernal Dwarves aren't in here
because they're published
in
their new books. And
correct. They're still in their beta phase, which they're getting their adjustments anyway.
Yeah. So we'll see. They've been published, but they're adjusting the points because they have to fix the
correct
the command points. I mean, to me, there's a few things here and there, but I think the biggest savings for most armies is going to be the command points.
The command points is going to be big.
Yeah, with the exception of people who play MSU who don't have command points, they're not going to gain anything. But
they're not gaining anything, and they're actually, a lot of the core units are going up, so they're actually getting hurt by this.
Potentially, yeah.
The way I see it.
Well, it depends on the army, but yeah. And it's interesting that the overall reduction in cavalry, heavy, medium cavalry prices for a lot of armies.
Right. That's
a welcome thing.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't do more to affect the monsters in general.
Yeah, I thought they would stomp on the cowboys a little bit.
I don't know if they're hoping that the larger units will, by default, decrease the value of the monsters, but I don't think it does.
No, because you can add as many models as you want to your unit. If it can't fight, it can't fight.
Correct.
It's just all you're doing is giving your opponent more points.
Yeah. If you can't put out the damage to hurt the thing,
right,
it's going to roll through you.
Yep. Or hold you up forever, one of the cases,
Yep.
So that's, which some cowboys can do also just by themselves.
But, a lot of things it's good to see because this, my army is going to actually my orc army at least will actually drop in points. I've got enough command that it's going to overall drop me.
Yeah, it will be interesting at the margins. Because I think a lot of these things, with the exception of the command points for regular armies, it's going to affect people at the margins. And, And I'm not adroit enough to know the magic combinations that are going to be affected by some of these point changes on magic items. That'll be intriguing if that messes anybody up.
Yep.
I didn't see anything that the armies that I have more familiarity with that would be a problem, but yeah. But I'm glad about the command points that they're halfway there.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this. Thank you.
Until next time.